Hello, I'm Dr. Harper. This video is in Management of Operations BUSN 6630, Spring 2021. And this video is to work homework number 3, Plan 3, minimum cost, to get using LP to get the minimum cost aggregate plan. Now, I emphasize collaboration, and I'm going to make this video and just work through it and show how to solve the optimization, which is going to really be a basis for a lot of the other questions in the homework. So once you have the minimum cost plan, then you modify it. You can make it level, make it chase. You can limit the FTEs. You can limit your overtime, add overtime. So, and we can talk about the modifications, but really the basis is getting the minimum cost first. I want to walk you through that. I'm going to solve it and show you how to do that. So first, let's bring up the homework. And so here's the homework. If we come down, we have the we're going to have the memo that are asking us to come to this planning meeting. And in this memo, we're given the information, this paragraph that we need to start with. Okay, and then we start with a level capacity, Plan 1. Then we'll go to chase demand, which is Plan 2, and then we go to the minimum cost analysis table here and the minimum cost Plan 3. And this is what I'll be doing in this video. Now let's back up here. For this homework, I want to emphasize to you that it's a scenario. And this is how you would use the mechanics that I presented in the quiz, how you would use that in a planning meeting, in a company, in a business. This is how this would work. Okay. And this is going to be the basis. It's not everything, but it's going to be the foundation that you'll modify to answer some of the questions. And we can talk more about this next week. Okay, and so let's get some of these. Let's bring up Canvas. Let's bring up Excel. Let's see here. Here's Excel. Let's make this a little larger here. There we go. And so coming down here, let's get these values here that's going to be used here. First of all, let's see here. Here we go. Our labor standard is 16 minutes per item. Okay, well that's going to be important. Let's bring this up here. The labor standard equals 16. Let's say minutes per item. There we go. And then what's next? Let's see. It's a 40-hour work week. Our current wages for our workers are $27 an hour. Okay. Then wages equals 27. And this is dollars per hour. Okay. Now, what we're going to be doing in here is getting the direct labor cost, which I mentioned in class. But our wages, we don't want dollars per hour. We want dollars per item. Okay. Well, if it takes $27 for every hour and every item takes 16 minutes to do, then how many dollars per item then? Okay. And so this then... let's come back here. Let me just say equals. Okay. And then that will equal the 27 times then how many hours does it take to make one? Okay. And that's going to be 16 divided by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. And so that's going to be 7.2. This is going to be dollars per item. So that's going to be our unit direct labor cost, and we'll put that in the table here in a minute. What's next? We come down here. The FTE is a 52-week year, 52-week year, 40-hour work week. That turns out to be 2,080 hours per year, and that was the time standard that we'll use in this course that I mentioned. Again, all companies don't do it this way. You have to know what their standards are. We want to keep our beginning and annual inventory the same at 5,800. Aha, okay. Now we have a beginning inventory and an ending inventory, and this is going to be 5,800 and 5,800. Okay, and again, personal preference here, Arial centered and 10 to come right into my Word file. Not that I'm going to be using it, but just, I guess I'm type A. Anyway, so that's going to be the beginning and the end inventory. Let's see, to maintain a low risk of stockout. For the next fiscal year, the forecasted demand that we'll use our analysis is this. Okay, well, this is going to be important. Let me take this, Control C, and let me just put it right here. We're going to have to use this. That's going to be very important to make sure our demand is correct. But let's go on. Let's see here. After our inventory analysis, we have estimated our carrying cost to be $6.25 per item per month. Okay, so now we have C sub C is going to be 6.25, and that is going to be dollars per item, item per month. Okay, and that's going to be equivalent. We can do that per month, and we'll use it per month. But we'll probably always also want to have an annual, because we want to get our annual carrying cost. So that's going to equal 6.25 per month times 12 months in a year, $75. So that's going to be dollars per item per year, because we'll use the 75 as well. Okay, what else do we have here? That's all we have right here. Okay, and so we'll start with this. And but coming down here, let's minimize this for a second. Coming down here, we are going to plan one is just level capacity. That's going to be easy to do. Everyone should be able to do that. Chase demand is going to be the same. Okay. But now we're going to be using the minimum, looking at the minimum cost. So, but the minimum cost, we're going to have hiring and firing. So this is, we're going to make sure we get the unit hiring and firing cost in there. I want to make sure I get that in there, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's see here. Where's it at? Here it is. Let's see. No, no. Okay. Well, we have it right here. I guess I've set it up here somewhere. Let's see, chase demand. Yeah, on chase demand, we're going to have, here it is. After consulting Don, the unit cost to hire one FTE was $2,400. The cost to fire one FTE is $2,100. So $2,400 and $2,100. Well, that's going to be given right here. Actually, I'm going to give you this table in the homework to make sure that you get these numbers before you move on the rest of the homework. See, this is question 7, 8, 9. Well, there's more questions to go, and there's where you start modifying it. And we'll talk about that later if you want, like office hours or during the lectures or whatever. Okay, so right here they are. The hiring, where'd it go? Hiring. The hiring is 24 and the firing is 21. So let's bring this back, bring my Excel spreadsheet back and put it in. Here we go. So we want the cost of hire is $2,400. Okay, and the cost of fire is $2,100. Okay, and this is dollars per FTE. Dollars per FTE. Okay. So now, so I think we have enough to actually solve it. So let's solve it. And I solved a small one, the quarters in the lecture. So I'm really going to go through that, but I'm going to do it here with this problem in the homework. So make sure we have the right numbers, so the rest of the homework could be done. Okay. First of all, month. 12 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Make sure we get 12 of these things. And then our demand. Okay, this is going to be important. You got to be careful with this. We have to type these things in. Oops. There we go. Okay, first of all, let's see here. What do we have? 2,829, 2,829, 2,832. 2,800, okay, 29,000. 28,000, 29,000, 28,000, 32,000. and then 34, 31, 34, 31, 29 and 30, 29, 30, and then 28 and 25, 28, 25. Now, I'm going to double check this to make sure it's right because it's so critical. 28, 29, 28 and 29, 28 and 32, and then 34, 31, and then 29 and 30, then 28 and 25. Sounds good to me. Okay, next is going to be our production plan. Whoops. Okay, well, to get that, we're going to need our FTEs. Actually, let's bring our production standard in here. That's going to equal, what's our production? We don't have our production standard. Oh, we got to calculate it. Good. Well, let's do it right here. Okay, production standard equals. Now remember, our production standard is the FTE time over the labor standard. Well, we want our production standard per month. So again, for the in the problem up here, come out back up here to the top. Remember, in the memo, we have 40 hours a week, 52 weeks in a year, and 2,080 hours per year. Okay, so this is going to equal 2,080 hours per year. Whoops, let's do a parenthesis. Parenthesis, 2,080 per year divided by 12, and that's how many hours per month. Divide that by the labor standard. Okay, how many hours per item? Well, it's 16 minutes. Again, it's going to be 16 divided by 60. Okay, and that's going to be 650 items per month. And so there's our production standard. So we come down here, we set that equal to this, 650, set that equal to that, and let's bring this down. Again, this is probably unnecessary, but I like to see all my numbers there. That's how I like to do it. Okay, so this is my production standard. Well, let me move it over. Let me put it under the production standard. Okay. Now, this, actually, our FTEs now, whatever our FTEs are, now remember, we're going to have a higher FTE, and we're going to have a fire FTE, and these right here are going to be my decision variables. Let me come up here and shade this in. Let me use a shade here and then put the boxes back in. So my production standard here is going to equal whatever the FTE is times my production standard, and that's my production. So I'm going to need that. So Excel solver, they're going to populate my decision variables by numbers, using numbers. But we have to tie these numbers into our labor and tie them into our conservation of labor and equilibrium equations. Same for inventory, so let's do that. Okay, we have our FTEs here. Let me put over here. So here is our FTE left-hand side. Remember that? Here we go. Equals, for the first month, the first time period, it's the last FTE plus what we're hiring minus what we're firing minus the FTE for that time period. Same thing here. The FTE in the time period before plus what we're hiring minus what we're firing minus the FTE in that time period, and then we can copy that down. There we go. So there's our equilibrium equations, and bring this over. So our labor is good. Now our inventory. So we want the beginning inventory and the ending inventory from our equilibrium equations. Well, this one simply is just equals the beginning inventory up here, 5,800. Now our ending inventory is going to equal our beginning inventory plus our production, whatever that's going to be, minus our demand. That's going to equal ending inventory, right? And the beginning inventory of the second quarter equals the ending inventory of the first quarter. So now that I have these, I can bring them all the way down to all 12 months down here. And so now I have all of these equations done, and there they go. And so, okay, well, see, there's no production here. So basically we're saying, okay, our inventory is just gonna go negative with our demand. Okay, actually, if we sum this, equals the sum of all of our demand. Notice our demand is 351,000 items for this next year, for the fiscal year, whatever the year is. Okay, and so if we, in order for the ending inventory to be 5,800, we have to produce 351,000. Could be anywhere. If I put 351,000 in, 351,000, then notice what happens is all of a sudden it starts at 58 and down here it ends at 5,800. Because if I sum this, well, this is not going to be what we're going to be doing. We're not going to produce everything in the first month. But that just illustrates right here that my inventory is all together. Okay, it's pretty much all together. Okay. Now here's my so here's my all that's together. Okay, now let me bring this sum over, because all the way to here. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to have my higher FTEs. I really don't need, well, actually I don't need this. I don't need this. But this right here, this is going to be all the FTEs I'm hiring. These are all the FTEs I'm firing. And I can bring my unit costs in here. Well, this is going to equal my unit hiring cost, which is 2,400. This is equal my unit firing cost, which is equal to 2,100. And then down here, my total equals the sum FTEs times the cost to hire each FTEs. And this equals the sum of the FTEs you're firing times the cost for each FTE. I'm leaving this in here because we want these sums to be 0. We're going to have that in our constraint set. Now over here, let's take the average. Average. Now to take the average, to be safe, from the beginning and the ending inventory, all of them. Now, the reason to be safe is if we're going to have inventory objectives, we want to increase and decrease our ending annual inventory. Well, to get the average annual inventory, you got to take the beginning and ending. So that's going to be this, our unit cost here. Now this is cost per year. Let's say equal. Cost per year, carrying cost per year is 75. There it is. So this is going to equal the average times 75. There we go. Now also, if you notice in the homework, coming back to the homework down here, and notice I have the total carrying cost per month. Well, I put that in here. So here's so there's a 75. It's supposed to be 1133. We'll do that here in just a second. But I put these in here to make sure every month is right, because you could get the year right, but the months could be wrong. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take the average inventory. Let's make this bigger so you can see it a little better. I can move things around. Okay, so let's take the average inventory here. Equal average of these two numbers. Click, click. Okay, and bring these down and see now each of these, as you notice, is the average of those two numbers. And then down here, if I take the average of the averages, it'll be the average. Okay, it doesn't matter the order said these two are the same numbers. Let's bring the significant figures down to just the units digit. They should be the same. They are the same. Good. We got it. Okay. But then the carrying cost for each one, I'm just going to equal to 75 divided by 12. And it should be 620. Yep, there's 625. Notice that's the same as what we started with over here. 625 items per month. So I'm taking the year divided by 12 to get it per month. Okay. And then I'll just say equal to 625 when I bring it down. Down to there. Okay, and then I'll take my total carrying cost again per month equals the average times the carrying cost. That's all you do. And you bring this down all the way down to here. Okay. Now if I sum this, if I sum all of these all the way up here to the top, boom, and notice I get these two numbers should be the same, and they are. Everything ties together. We're good to go. Okay, there's only one more thing I need to do, and that is get my, let me bring the total, let me bring this back here, is get my labor costs. Okay, my unit cost of labor here is going to equal, what is it per item per month? Per item, the dollars per item is going to be 7.2. Okay, so this will be equal this times 7.2. Okay, so I need my labor cost because that's going to be in there too. Okay, but now I need all my costs, get the total cost because this is what I'm going to be minimizing. So over here on the right, over here, let's say total. Let's say grand total equals, okay, it's going to be this is my carrying cost plus, come back over here, there's my firing plus my hiring plus my direct labor cost. So that's what we're minimizing in this homework, and that's what they're asking us to do. Okay, so let's bring this back down so I can see everything together. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's bring this back down because now let's go to the solver. Data, solver, okay, start with the objective function. Oh, it's already there. Boom, objective function. I want to minimize it. By changing cells, what cells do I change? I change all of these. Okay, now add my constraints. Now remember there's only like 3 constraints. First is the labor equilibrium. All those are going to equal 0. Add my inventory equilibrium have to be non-negative. So they are greater than or equal to 0. It can be 0 positive, non-negative. And then finally add the ending inventory. The ending annual inventory is going to equal, come back up here, there it is. Ending inventory is 5,800. Now I'm putting that in a constraint because I know in the homework we're going to be changing that 5,800 to different things. Okay, and we can look at a different video and different. I can work through it with you, but then we'll do different things when we take this and start modifying it. That'll be a different video. Okay, so let's say okay. Come down to here, non-negativity constraints for the decision variables. We want a simplex algorithm right there. And then let's solve this thing. I sure hope it works. Say okay, and let's see what happened here. Something happened. Oh, I never did this. Oh my goodness. So let's, I forgot to take this back. There we go. Let's solve this thing again. Okay, let's see here. Make sure I get the right answer. And let's see here. Cancel this. Let's see. Make sure I get the right answer. Is this equals the FTE times the projection standard, and bring this down. Okay. Let's see here. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. I want to make sure I have the right answers here. Let's bring Excel back here. Here it is. Okay, I think I have everything right. It looks right. I hope you guys see anything wrong with this. I don't think so. Make sure everything is good. Okay, that's there. Okay, let's just solve this thing and see what we got. And that's what I got. Yep, everything is right. Once I put all the equations in there. Yep, that's what it looks like. So the total here is 265. Let me make that bigger so you can see it. Okay, 265,9969. That's one of the answers in the homework. But now this is going to be the template we're going to be using to start solving things and moving things around and doing different things. And oh, and if you notice, let's bring back the our homework. Okay, notice the let's see here. There we go. Bring this over. Look at the FTEs. Make sure these FTEs are right. 39,385, 39, 43, 44, 44, 50, 50, 47, 45, 45, 3, 45, 2, 45, boom. So it is right, okay? And then the FTEs over here, so there's extra stuff here that we don't have here. These are the hiring and the fire. On the hiring and firing is right here, 003, 003, 1. So you can go through and make sure it's right. Okay, I'm pretty sure everything is right. And even the costs over here. See, here's 28,750, 10,625, 00, 3125, all the way down here. By the way, this is 3.75 times 10 to the minus 10th. On these things here, these are really zeros. We can come up here to home and the general, just make it a number, see, and then it goes to 0. And let's just so when you see this E here, it's general. They want to make sure you see the significant figures. The significant figures could be anywhere depending on 10 times whatever. Okay, here it's way down small, so this is essentially 0. Okay, anyway, there they are, 22,500, 4375, 1562, 50, and this kind of thing. Okay. And I think that's kind of what this video was about to get it started. You can see, I took the wrong one away, I took that one away. You can see that this is the way you generate it. And I hope everyone is able to follow this, generate it, and once they have this, then we start modifying it. And the modification, I will cover that maybe in the lecture, maybe in office hours, and if people want to or need to, I could just even make another video to go through the different types of modifications. Because one thing, this course is much bigger than just knowing how to do it. It's seeing it done and knowing what can be done and knowing what to ask for and knowing what you're looking at, even when it's done and someone presents it to you. So there's a little bit of Roger in all of us. We can all make mistakes. And so we need each other to question each other. And so we're starting here, and now we're going to build on it. So that's all I have for this lecture. I hope this helps. And I hope this helps. And so again, to reiterate, collaboration is highly encouraged in this course. I want everyone to work together, and I will help you, and I'll help you work these things out. I don't want to work everything for you. I don't want to steal your thunder. I want you to work through it too, to have that experience of having it done. So hopefully you can use this well. And that's all I have for this video. We'll see you later in other videos during the lecture and even office hours. Between now and then, be safe out there. Don't take anything for granted, and take care because I want to see you again.